Videos about stereoisomerism. So the cue in the question is to name this compound using the U-Pack convention. And the concept of this question is the E and Z isomers. So here's an example of a molecule. And we're going to name this molecule using the U-Pack convention that we previously learned in the earlier chapters. But here's a quick recap of how to do so. So we first need to identify the longest carbon chain, which is 4 carbon. So we have Bu. And then there's one double bond, so it's an alkene, and it's located on the first carbon. So we add to the name 1-ene. And then we also have a substituent group of chlorine that is bonded to the first carbon. So we add to the front of the name 1-chloro. And that's our U-Pack naming so far. We're actually going to redraw this diagram to something that looks like this for a better visualization. And I'm going to explain how the two diagrams are of the same molecule. So I'm going to firstly number out the carbon in the first diagram, and that's really straightforward. And the second one, I'm also going to number the carbons. So you can see how on the first carbon is bonded to a hydrogen and a chlorine, and then the first is bonded a double bond to the second carbon. A second carbon is bonded to the H, and then the ethyl group, which includes third and fourth carbon, is then simplified to something like this on the second diagram. So how we distinguish between E and Z isomers is we need to compare the atoms or substituent group that is bonded to the same carbon. So here we need to compare the hydrogen and the chlorine as it is both bonded to the first carbon. And we compare them according to their priority. And whichever atom or substituent group has the greater mass is considered to have the greater priority. So in this example, chlorine would have the greater mass compared to hydrogen, therefore chlorine would have the higher priority. We can then move on to compare the ethyl group and the hydrogen that is both bonded to the second carbon. An ethyl group obviously have a greater mass compared to hydrogen, therefore it has higher priority. And so we're going to focus on the two higher priority and where it is located along the double bond. So in this example, the high priority are on opposite side. So it will be an E isomers. But if it were to be on the same side, it will be a Z isomer. And the really easy way to remember is Z is for like same or like zane. It's just a really quick way to remember it. But anyways, for this example right here, the high priorities are on opposite side, so it's an E isomers, and we just simply add the E to the front of the name. Now we can go back to the question, and we firstly need to name the U-Pack, this one according to the U-Pack convention. So we have 1-promo, 1-chloro, Bu, 1-ene. So we can cross out answers C and D. And then we can compare the atoms or the substituent group that is bonded to the same carbon. So we're comparing bromine and chlorine. And bromine has the greater mass, so it has a higher priority. and then we can compare the substituent group and the atom that's bonded to the second carbon. And here the ethyl group has the higher priority. And so you can see the higher priorities are on the same side of the double bond. So it's a Z, and our answer is choice B.